All right, guys, we are back in the headquarters once again for yet another Sorrow Eternal interview. We are honored tonight to have an interview with up-and-coming Scottish band Falloch. We have Andy and Scott. They're going to answer some questions about the new album and what it's like to be an up-and-coming band in Scotland. So first and foremost, guys, we just want to thank you for taking the time and effort in conducting this interview, and we really appreciate it.
Hi, we're Falloch, and I'm Andy.
And I'm Scott.
Your work is a celebration of Scotland, from the natural wonders to your memories. What is it about Scotland that you were trying to convey through your music? And looking at the completed album, do you feel you succeeded in your quest?
Right.
With our music, we wanted to try and convey that atmosphere of isolation you have in Scotland when you're in areas such as Glencoe and the Isle of Skye. You just feel so free from the rest of the world in modern day society. It's just such an escape, and we wanted to try and recreate this atmosphere in our music. Although the atmosphere of Scotland and the landscape and the culture was an influence of our music, it wasn't the main drive. It was just a part we wanted to make sure we managed to incorporate in our music. Overall, we're extremely happy with the way the album's turned out. For our first release especially, I don't think we could have done much better with the experience we'd had. Obviously there's lots we can improve on, but as a starting off point, I think we've done very well so far.
So who were some of your bigger influences, both growing up and in the recording of your new album?
The music we listened to when we were growing up, it was generally sort of rock and metal, but I mean none of those bands probably relate to what we make now. One of the bands that influenced the album would probably be Alcest. We both sort of found a common ground with their music that we both appreciated and wanted to incorporate some aspects of their music in the music we made. But overall, we weren't trying to limit ourselves in any way of the style we were making. We were just wanting to concentrate and make an album that we found was atmospheric and emotional, and we hope we managed to achieve that.
So, how important was it to incorporate traditional Celtic or Scottish instruments into your music?
With our music, we definitely wanted to have a relationship to Scotland in it, but we didn't really want to create a cheesy folk metal band or something like that. We wanted just a subtle touch, but we hope throughout the whole album we've managed to create a sense of atmosphere that we feel in Scotland.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of traditional Scottish music anyway, and growing up, my grandpa and my dad and my family used to listen to it, so it's quite a big influence to me. But I also think it's worth mentioning that on the album, it's not only the traditional Scottish instruments that make the Scottish feeling, it's also the vocals. We tried to make them a bit sort of Celtic-y in a way.
The notes we use.
Yeah, the notes and the overall atmosphere we feel is quite Scottish.
No two people in our office can agree on their favorite track. One person picks We Are Gathering Dust, while another picks Solace. If we put you on the spot, which track is your favorite to play or hear?
Well, for me, I would probably say the most personal song to me is probably Solace, but it's probably not my favourite song on the album. I would probably say my favourite song's Where We Believe, as I just like the scope of the song and how many different sort of styles.
Yeah, Where We Believe's probably my favourite song as well, because I think it's the song that sort of represents what we set out to do with Falloch, and it's got a really good mix of metal, it's got a good mix of rock, post-rock, folk, everything we wanted to put in the band, it's got a good mix of it, so that's why it's my favourite. And I also love the outro. It's one of my favourite parts on the album. So, but I also love all the other tracks.
No, the rest are shit.
Like
Don't listen to the rest. Only listen to that once. Just the outro, the last 3 minutes 40 seconds. That's the only part of the album that's good.
I also listen to Horizons, because that's alright as well.
Sometimes.
What is the story or idea, if any, behind the album artwork? Who created the image for the album itself?
The guy that done the artwork for Where Distant Spirits Remain was a guy called Pierre Henry. He's from France, and I found him on DeviantArt after searching online for someone to do our artwork for about what seemed like 10 years. But
yeah, we were basically just looking for someone that that created an image and atmosphere that we felt related to our music, and we found his images, and there was so many of them that fitted perfectly.
Yeah, we wanted to find a picture or a couple of pictures that were perfect for our music. We made the music before we decided what we wanted in the artwork and what kind of image we wanted in the artwork. So
yeah, the music with everything for this band came first. Everything else was just after the music. The music defines everything.
And I happened to stumble across this page, and I seen that picture and I just thought it was perfect.
Over the course of about a year, you wrote and recorded your new album, Where Distant Spirits Remain, and signed a deal with Candlelight Records. Give us a little insight on how all this came to be.
Me and Andy started writing the album late 2009, sort of start of 2010. And like you said, we wrote and recorded it throughout the year. And then while it was being mastered by Ron and Chris Murphy, he sent us a couple of songs just to check that we were happy with what he was doing. And obviously it'd been a year since we'd started the project and we hadn't let a single person hear anything we'd ever done. So we posted one of the songs up on YouTube, and then incredibly within a day, Candlelight had got in contact with us asking to hear more music and that they would be interested in maybe signing us. So we sent them the album once we had it back from mastering, and then we released the album on Candlelight.
Candlelight Records is, from the perspective of the fans, a bright spot in a failing music industry. How has it been working with them thus far?
So far, working with Candlelight's been absolutely brilliant. The amount of promotion they've been able to give us is just incredible, especially for a band with their very first release. So hopefully it will continue for a long time.
Though several rock bands come to mind, we struggle to think of any true metal bands from Scotland. What's the metal scene like, and what's it like to be an up-and-coming band locally?
We don't really know what the metal scene in Scotland's like because we actually don't pay much attention to it. I personally pay more attention to the post-rock scene in Scotland, which I think's pretty amazing.
For us as well, because we've not played any gigs yet, it's not like we've been playing gigs with bands from Scotland, so it's not like we really have any contact with any of the up-and-coming bands that are about. So there might be quite a lot of good bands out there, but we don't know of them yet.
Your album has seen critical acclaim from all corners of the globe, from the biggest and the smallest metal publications. What has this experience been like for you?
So far it's been incredible getting so many good reviews and ratings, but the main thing for us is that we enjoy making the music and have a good time making it. I mean, we made it ourselves just in a garage, just for ourselves, and we just put our music online, and everything that's happened so far is from that. So it's brilliant to hear that so many people are enjoying our music, but first and foremost we have to enjoy the music and have a good time creating it.
Are there any major touring plans in the works? And if so, where do you think it's going to take you?
We've got some gigs lined up in November in the UK, just 3 gigs we're playing, one in London, Manchester and Glasgow. These will be our first gigs, so we're really excited about this and can't wait to be playing live. We're hoping in 2012 though to be playing a lot more gigs, but we've got nothing concrete planned at the moment. But as soon as it is, it will be posted up on our Facebook or our website.
With the release of the album and this meteoric rise, what can we expect to see from Falloch in the future?
Well, with the band, we both really want to be busy. We don't want to be one of these bands that releases an album and then you hear nothing of for years and years and then we release another album. We want to try and build up a momentum. We've always got ideas for writing music at the moment. We always are writing music. So we'll hopefully be able to produce another album quite soon.
Thank you guys again for your time and your insight. We wish you guys the best of luck, and we fully expect you to be very successful in the coming months.